I'm going to get right to my first guest because he's not only sitting here, but he's one of my favorite people. He does this show as a host on occasion, and it's awesome every single time he does it. His 30 for 30, Deion's Double Play, debuts tonight on the worldwide leader in sports at 9 Eastern Time. He is prime time himself, Deion.
How you doing, my humble host?
What's going on, Prime?
How you doing, guys? What's up, Prime?
Hey, great to see you, Prime.
Those guys are good.
I know.
They're good.
And you're great with them,
I
too.
love them.
I love when you do the show, by the way.
I love to do the show.
I love that.
But I hate leaving.
Well, then, the good thing is we got a nice chunk of time right now before
Oh,
Ernie
I thought you was
Johnson
going to say chunk of change.
So,
I really
there's
thought
none
you
of
was
that.
Nice chunk of.
Come on, it's terrestrial radio for mostly and basic cable, Deion. I mean, you know the drill. Pardon me, satellite. So let's get into the fact that this is Atlanta.
Love it.
Okay.
This city is so beautiful, man.
This
This city is so dear to my heart. It because I chose it. You know, it was different when I came out in the draft because I had gone to a All-American function here in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got to the city and went through the airport, I was like, dang. We did a little thing at the hospital. I was like, dang. Start going around the city to dine and to do the different things that we had. I was like, oh, my God. I had truly never seen African-American people in such roles and positions and titles that I had never seen it in my life. And it blew my mind. You know, city officials, doctors, lawyers, political figures. It blew my mind. So I said, that's where I want to go because I knew the dude I was. I was non-apologetic. I was brash. I was going to be me. And I felt like Atlanta would at least understand me. And I said, I'm not going to you. Don't draft me. I'm going to play baseball if you do. I'm not going there. I'm not going there. And
sure enough, Atlanta was
number
the one.
5 pick. I was so happy I didn't know what to do, man.
And I also love the story that you've told, and if you wouldn't mind telling the audience here as well, at the Combine, when you would be pulled into rooms, and you didn't know which room you were being pulled into by which.
Yeah. I was, you know, it come back in that day. Everybody was reaching for it. Agents was in the hotel.
Yeah.
Everybody was everybody.
Now it's all scheduled.
It
Now
was scheduled, structured. You can't be in a hotel. You can't be on the premises. Then it was everything. It was wild. So I'm backing away from crowds and people trying to grab me, and I backed into this room, and the Giants was there, and it was the Giants room, and they had people sitting down taking these tests. What do they call these things?
Oh, yeah, like the psychology test, right?
I mean, the thing was that thick, man. And I sat down, and they gave me this thing. And what is this? They say, it's this test, and, you know, we need you to take it. I said, oh, what picker do you have? It's like the 10th. I said, I'll be gone before then. So I got up and walked out. I'll be way gone before then.
And then let's just get into it here. I mean, Belichick said he watched you run the 40 at the Combine, and that you ran it and then ran into the tunnel. And is it true?
That's not true.
Okay. You did not run into a waiting car and being taken to the airport right then and there.
No, because I had more interviews and all of that. No, that story just grows and grows.
It does. It's like a fish story.
It is. That's not true. I did everything that I was asked to do. Now, I didn't lift. I ain't do none of that because Jerry Rice to this day hadn't laid across my arms and let me bench press him. You know, I don't know where that comes from.
I love that you say that when you're watching the defensive backs go put up the weight and reps of 225 and they're struggling to get a fifth one up.
When have you ever said, man, boy, if that guy would have got one more rep, he'd have been there on that play? Never. Or the 3-cone drill. Like, no, this has nothing to do with nothing. So I didn't do any of that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it all worked out.
Yeah.
And now, I have not been in the new house yet here in Atlanta.
It's beautiful, man.
Is your banner up there at least? Where
I
commemorating
think
that you have
so.
because that was your house. You built
the previous one, and it was a good house.
Yes.
I don't know why they tore it down. It was a good house.
That was your house.
Beautiful home.
So I'd like to know if there's still some form of fashion. To know that.
Yes. Statue, some got to be some kind of prime somewhere in there. It's blasphemy if it isn't.
Now, this 30 for 30 tonight is just awesome.
Good.
It is. No, it's not good. It's great. It really is.
But you know what I wanted, Rich? They've been calling me for years to do the 30 for 30.
I'm sure.
You know, and what is this going to do for me? You're going to play it over and over. You're going to get, I ain't getting nothing from this. So I want to really bless people. So I don't want to just do the football one or just the baseball one. Let's do one that really talked about what really transpired behind the curtain on the two sports in one day. So that's how this came about. I didn't want to do the normalcy thing. Let's do something, because that day troubled me to this day. And people still really don't know what transpired behind the curtains, and I can't wait for everyone to see it. And I'm still puzzled. Like, my contract is over July the 31st. I'm still here, and you made me out to be the bad guy. How does that happen? That you made me to be the villain, that I was being selfish, and that's why I love social media today. An athlete has his opportunity to articulate himself. Could you imagine if I would have been in the era?
Yeah.
First of all, oh goodness, the followers I would have had.
A lot of sliding.
Oh.
Yeah.
Deion and Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Well, your Instagram game is pretty on fire right now.
But you
Brian.
know what? My whole social media I attribute to Rich, because I wouldn't do it. Because, contrary to what you may think, I'm very I'm priming it today because this is called. But normally I'm Deion, and Rich knows that. And I'm really recluse when it comes to certain things. And he talked me into, the way he got me, he said, you know what? You send out an inspirational every morning, as long as I've known you. Imagine how many more people you could reach if you did this. And that's what got me. Years ago, he was on my butt about going on social.
Yeah, and to make sure that it was your name at Deion Sanders.
True.
Got to get that. Mm-hmm. But the fact that I would teach you anything about branding or image,
you did,
I'll
though.
Tell you, I will take that. That's like a walk-off. That's like a walk-off.
You did, though. I attribute that to you. You was on my butt about it.
Well, I mean,
I finally did it.
So that the one day, for those, let's just delve into it a little bit, and I want to give the whole story away because everybody needs to watch tonight at 9 Eastern on ESPN, the 30 for 30. The day that we're talking about is the helicopter to go from one place to the other.
No, it was a jet. It was a jet.
Okay.
It was a jet. The helicopter was to get to the jet.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Right.
I still don't know how that came about. Like, I'd never said to anybody, hey, man, I need a helicopter to get down 85 to get to the game. I never said, I don't know how the next thing you know, a helicopter's on the practice field waiting for me. Cool. What am I supposed to do? Say, nah, I'm good.
So you had
I was driving that traffic.
You had no idea.
I had no idea who provided it, who paid for it. I know I didn't. I have no idea who provided that on a daily basis after football practice. But I know the two sports on one day, to even think about that. It wasn't that I wanted to play two sports on one day. It was that the fact that I'm getting ready to send my Falcons, my beloved Falcons, and football is my heart, out there against Dan Marino, Duper, Clayton, and Nat Moore without me in the secondary. That's stupid. And it's to me, that's selfish. And I have a football contract. And now I got the Braves saying they mad at me, and it's October. The contract is long gone. So I'm helping you, and you got an attitude with me. I didn't understand that. And it hurt me, man. It hurt me because it was like you're doing so much for somebody that don't even respect you, and then they have no regard for the other team that you're playing with because they felt like, oh, this is our moment. Forget them. Well, we trying to get to the playoffs too. And I have a whole group of teammates over there that love me just as much as you love me, and I got love for them. So just not being there for them while I'm sitting on the bench for 9 innings, how do I explain that? And that was the dilemma, and it was tough. Okay. And it got to a point where after I played in Miami, I really wanted to just take the plane back to Atlanta and say, man, forget y'all. But kids, adults, whatever you start, you finish. Whatever you start, you finish, and I had to finish.
Plus, your teammates are there, too.
Amen.
I mean, it's not like their teammates were the ones who were...
Right, and I loved them.
Right?
And Smoltzy and TP and Terry Pendleton and all that, Glavin and Avery, all those guys, man, those were my guys. Dave Justice, Gant, Limp Dog, Limpke. I love those guys to life. This way you never heard nothing that transpired out of any of my teammates. It was just management, and it bothered me.
It's the same thing, by the way, for TV. I just want to say that as well. I mean, no, I'm serious. I mean, I'll never forget when you first arrived at the NFL Network, and I had never really met you, okay? I had covered you, and I had watched you. One of the first things you did, and I'll say this, Mariucci's coming up in hour number 3. It was me, you, and Mooch for all those years, doing the highlights. And Mooch had just come off the field as a coach, okay? You had many years now of working at CBS as well, and obviously many decades of being prime. And so we got on the set, and Mooch was on the end, you were in the middle, and I was on the left.
Right.
And you, after we did one show where Mooch was trying to figure out how to get in on our conversations or the highlights, you came off the set and you're like, why am I in the middle? Like, if I'm in the middle.
Well, it's the black guy.
No,
that has something to do with it.
Well, I didn't know, but you were in the middle. You're like, you wanted to be, you said, put me on the end.
True.
Because Mariucci could just, if he's out there on the end of the set, he's going to get lost. Nobody's going to hear from him. Maybe he's not going to be in the mix. And I'm like, that is one of the most, sharing, giving, self-aware comments I've ever seen from any analyst. And that's typical of you. And I want that said as well. That is typical of you.
Thank you. Well, the thing that I always emphasize is team. Team. I mean, I wouldn't be where I am today without a team. And that's on the field, off the field with your family, with the kids. I mean, you got to have a team. And I truly believe in that in all aspects, man.
Deion Sanders here on the Rich Eisen Show. I guess let's get into this a little bit here. Super Bowl 53, how do you see it working out?
Brady.
That's it, right?
Next question. I love Jared Goff, man. Can you imagine what this kid is dealing with all week? He downplaying it. He in the middle of the season, he kind of slid. Even had a rough time at it the last game early on. And now you got to deal with Brady, man. You got to look across the field and know that this guy ain't no joke. So if they don't rush for 200 yards, and he doesn't throw for at least 200 yards, which they've never done up under McVay, 200 and 200, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. And throwing for 200 yards is really simplistic, but they're going to have to rush to keep Tom off their field because Tom is going to work. They're going to score. Against that defense,
you don't think Sue and Donald could provide the pressure?
Ain't no answer for Donald. Let's just get this straight.
Right.
Ain't a man built in America, two men can handle Donald.
Right.
And Sue decided that he wants to play in the playoffs. I told him that. That's my guy. That's my guy. He decided he wanted to play, and he's balling.
Right.
But Brady hadn't been sacked in the darn playoffs, man. He's getting rid of the ball. I mean, this dude is unbelievable. He's unbelievable. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for the Rams.
So you think the Patriots when it's all said and done?
No, I don't think.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
How can you pick against Brady in a one-game test in Belichick?
I know, but he has lost.
Yeah, he has.
He's lost 3 times.
How many has he won?
5.
Thank you.
Okay.
I just wanted you to say it.
All right. Before I let you go, you're speaking to Kyler Murray later today.
Yes, I am.
Okay. It's just to bring this all.
I'm going to search his heart.
Okay.
I'm going to search his heart. Everybody's talking about what the kid should do, what he shouldn't do. I've been in that situation. It's a little different because Bo and I went at it a little different because we could do both sports because of the position. Bo could just show up whenever he wanted. Give him the ball, he's still Bo. I could fall out of bed and cover. To this day, I could got at least a quarter left in me. I could cover. A quarterback, you can't do that. The game does not allow him to miss half a season and still be a quarterback. How you going to lead? You can't lead nobody. Nobody wants to see you in half the season. You're not there in the summer, in the spring, in the fall. You got to be there. So it's going to be tough. He really has to make a decision, but the decision really is not for us. It's his heart. I think the kid heart says football.
What advice would you give him?
If it's football?
No. What advice would you give him as he's making this decision in his mind here?
I got to see his heart. I ain't going to tell him nothing until I know where he. Once he tells me the course he wants to take, then I could be the navigational system. But I can't navigate him unless he puts the address in there. That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah. You call that a walk-off line? That's a walk-off line. Mint Mobile. What are you doing? What are you doing with that?
I have 5. I don't know if you know it or not, but I have 5 kids, and these phone bills are crazy. I had to partner with somebody that can consolidate this mess, and they challenging status quo, man. They take it on the big boys and said, for $20 we can handle this. Now I tried to get them to do it for $21 and just give me the dollar over, but they wouldn't do it.
That's branding.
That's branding.
Yes.
But they're doing a fantastic job. I'm happy to be partnered with them because they're going to help a lot of you. I know you running up a phone bill. I can tell right now the way you're looking, young man.
Right away.
Yeah. You're a social media guy, right? Yeah, you got all of the apps and all the
little
stuff.
Teenager
Yeah,
right
yeah.
there. He looks like a...
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. You need men. Yeah, you need mint.
He's selling people. He's
That's what I do.
He's got a 30 for 30.
But I don't sell them unless I believe in it. I believe in it.
Okay.
He got 2 phones. I definitely need you. You got 2 phones.
Mint Mobile with Prime, 30 for 30. Deion's
That's
double
going to be
play.
so good. One more thing. I'm sorry.
No, go for it.
I just did this, and I never done this before because, I don't like really be transparent much. But the little letter to myself, I did
For
that.
Players Tribune, right.
You got to read that. You got to read that. I'm Hemingway-ish. I am. I'm really. I mean, I killed that thing. I dug it, nade. I crip walked to it. God, I wrote that thing. Now you got to read the letter to a 7-year-old Prime. It's good.
At thePlayersTribune.com.
Yes, it is good. It's
And then
good stuff.
you're on the air after the game, right?
Yes, I am.
Which means you're not on pregame.
You better not be on no pregame. You better not be on no pregame. Only time I'm gonna do pregame is you stay and do postgame. And I know you ain't staying.
Yeah, that's not happening. No, that's
I miss you though, man.
I miss you too.
I miss you on TV.
What are you talking about? I'm out here every day.
Yeah, but I'm talking about I miss being with you on TV.
I know. We don't
How
do it
many years
anymore.
were we together?
7 or 8.
It was like Ebony and Ivory, man. We was rolling. 7, 8 years, and you just gone. You just dipped on me. You left me.
I did not dip. They put me on in the morning.
You also abandoned the brotherhood.
Oh, yeah, the hair.
I got it. I'm not looking good up underneath right now, so that's why I'm winning.
Well, we got, before Ernie joins, one last thing. You know who I'm running against on Saturday, right?
Who?
Usain Bolt.
Rich, stop, Rich. Why are you doing this to yourself,
Oh,
man?
it's promotional for Run Rich Run.
He's training though now.
Yeah,
Wait,
he's
who?
training.
I told you at Glazer's gym.
Look at Jay Glazer.
He's not the one training me.
Name one thing.
He's not training me.
Who's training you?
A fella named Zach Gates, who has done great work
But Rich,
in the
the
NFL
footage
as a
that I
running
saw,
coach.
the footage I saw wasn't
It was
good.
early. It was prep work.
Please,
And
it's
it's prep
please
work.
play the footage while
They
I'm
can-
on here. I
no.
know. And post, you can't do it in post.
Okay, there it is, right there. I'm boxing.
What has that got to do with running?
I'm getting in shape.
That ain't got nothing to do with
I'm
running,
getting
Rich.
in shape.
Rich, that ain't nothing. I never seen you saying box or do none of that stuff.
I'm getting in shape, Brian.
That ain't got nothing. I want to see your starts and all that. They need to see that. That's what I was mad
I'm
at.
getting involved in that.
Rich,
I'm
I'm
getting
telling
involved. I'm getting started. You're going to be proud of me this year.
I'm proud of you every year.
I know that, but
Yeah.
then I'm not going to, it's going to be great.
But I want to hug you this year and really mean it.
It's going to happen. Deion Sanders, everybody. Deion.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.